Hey guys, it's Misty again. I decided to come back on and do a little share of something that I've also been doing this month in July. I have been playing along with the Daily Markers 30-day coloring challenge. So what this challenge is all about is just sitting down and taking at least 15 minutes for yourself every day and coloring something, anything. It can be inking a background, it can be playing with alcohol inks, it can be coloring images, it can be adult coloring books, it can be anything. The whole idea is just take some time for yourself, do a little self-care, and do some relaxing kind of art. So I myself, for my cards, I love to do stamped images. So I take the opportunity to follow along with this challenge and I get out stamps I've never used and I stamp them all out and I just sit down and color them. So I feel better because I've used my stamps, but it also gets me a lot of practice with different mediums. So for instance, I love my Copic markers, but I've also invested some money in some Zig watercolor markers. I have some different watercolor, I have the artisan ones. I have, I have the Daniel Smith, the little dot sheets that I've shared with you guys before. So and my Prismacolor pencils, they were getting kind of dusty. I hadn't used them in a while, so I decided to use those quite a bit as well this month. So in June, I just sat down and just got out a bunch of stamps, just went through my containers and pulled out stamps I knew I had never stamped and decided to color them. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys day 1 through 10 before I put them in my box ready for card making. So this was day 1. This is a Jane Davenport image. I'm sure many of you got this image at Tuesday morning. But I colored this one 8 times. It is watercolor. So, and then I did some Nuvo dots and stickle dots on his back there just to bring out, I loved that texture in him. So I decided to just give him a little spunk. So that was day 1. Day 2, I did a little bit of happy little trees, little Bob Ross. This is done with Copics. This is a Kindred stamp set, and I think I did this one 8 times as well. But I stamped a bunch of the trees. I actually have a very specific card layout in mind for this one. So my daughter loves Bob Ross, and it's funny because I got a lot of love on Instagram when I posted this. So apparently a lot of people still love good old Bob. So, okay, so day 3. I did this image, which again is watercolored. This one I did with my Zig, the clean color real brush markers. If any of you have questions about the mediums I use, just let me know and I'll come on and share what I know. I am by no means a professional. I just really like to play with all the different ones. But this one I don't know if you guys can see that, but I heat embossed this one. I stamped it in a brown VersaFine ink and clear embossed over the top, and then that keeps everything in check because I knew these spots were going to be difficult using dark with these lights, and I just didn't want to take a chance on them running together, so I decided to heat emboss this one. And I did this one a bunch of times as well. This next one is Copics again, and this is one of my favorite lines. It's from Tailored Expressions. And they do these little guys called grumplings. And I have several sets, and they're just these little grumpy characters, and they have great sentiments. I'll make sure I share the cards with you guys when I do this. But this is the wedding set. I love their little t-shirts, Mrs. Right, Mr. Always Wrong. But I add a little stickles to the bride there and to this groom, and all their noses have the glaze pen. And I did some Nuvo clear glaze on his little ball and chain. So I did a whole bunch of those because I wanted to do some kind of snarky wedding cards. I'm allergic to marriage, so I think I am more appropriately giving sarcastic cards. So then when I did my cards for the No Paper Left Behind, I had stamped out some extra images. So I had 2 of these left. So I decided to go ahead and watercolor those with a slightly different blue-green. And this one, I don't know. I'm going to stand up here and take a peek. I think, oh yeah, you guys can see. I did some of the duochrome on there to get some of that shimmer. And so I'll probably just make a couple of nice little friendship cards with that, but that's on watercolor paper and it's stamped in brown with the brown VersaFine. I wanted a little bit softer border on that one. And then the next day, I'm trying to remember who did this stamp set. So this one is some watercolor and the cute little monkeys. So I believe I did Daniel Smith with these as well, and they're also heat embossed. So, and what I did is I just took, I stamped the entire stamp set for this one, even the little accessories, just because I thought it would be fun to add those. I can cut them out with my brother. I do know, like, this little guy's holding his hand up, so you could put the present in his hand, or, you know, even in this little guy too, it looks like. But and then this, it didn't turn out the way I wanted, but I did use some Spectrum Noir sparkle marker underneath the glossy accents there, but it did get lost and it changed the color of the watercolor. This was a very red balloon and the glossy accents changed it to more of a hot pink. So I have 8 of those as well. And then the next things that I did, it looks like I only have a couple days left here, where I had these little seals. And I did these with Copics, and I did them 2 ways. So I was really indecisive. I had first colored them like this, and I thought that they were a little bit plain. So I started adding spots, and I loved the spots. So I sent photos of one of each to my daughter and to some of my friends and asked for votes. And everybody was split 50-50. Nobody could tell me which was better. So I did 4 with spots and I did 4 plain because I just couldn't decide either. I really do like the spots. It is fun to add little dots and spots to little critters. I just think it gives them so much whimsy. So that was the seals. And then this is probably one of my favorites, and I did stamp this so that I could do it in watercolor as well as Copics and pencils, but I did watercolor first. So this is a stamp set by the Greeting Farm. It's called, I think it's Spellbound or Spellbinding. I know it was a special at one point. I think it's sold out, unfortunately, because it's so cute. It's very Harry Potter-ish. A lot of these characters, but I mean, it's some of these you could just use for any day, and that's the reason I thought it was such a great value. This is the entire stamp set, so that you can see there are a couple little sentiments that go with it. If you guys would like me to show it to you, I will. But I had so much fun coloring different ethnicities. Every single one of these kids has a different watercolor for their skin tones, and again, I used the Daniel Smith dot sheets, and I'm telling you, those watercolors are amazing. I love them. You can get such good depth and everything. So look, it's the sorting hat for all my HP girls, all my Potterheads. So, and again, like I said, you don't really have to make this you know, Harry Potter. It just, I think it definitely reads that way, especially with the scarves. But I had a lot of fun with the different hair colors. You know, I did a little eggplanty purple and of course the turquoise. My daughter had hair that color for a long time. So, and then the last 2 days, day 9 and 10, they're the fault of Alicia. Hi, Alicia. So Alicia from Alicia's Crafty Hoplop, she had mailed me some digital images, and I don't even think she knew I was doing the coloring challenge. I think she just sent them to me for fun. But she sent me several of this little gal, and I just love her. For all of you who have looked at my my memory dexes for the Halloween collab, I love steampunk, I love vintage, and this little girl is just beautiful. So I colored her with Prismacolors, and I haven't added any details to her yet, but she was a lot of fun to color. I got quite a bit of, you know, depth in her dress and stuff. I was pretty proud of this one. I really enjoyed that, and I have a few more that I can color. And then for day 10, she also sent me these guys. So these were a blast to color. And again, these are Prismacolors. So I started with the Scarecrow because I honestly thought he would be easiest, but he wasn't. I was trying to get a lot of you know, ruffles and texture in his clothing. I don't think I did as good of a job as I would have liked to, but I gave it the good old try. So there's the scarecrow. And then the lion, he was rough too, because I really wanted depth between the two layers of his mane. I think I accomplished it okay, but I can't wait to try again. But I think he's super cute. These images, oh, Alicia, they're just so darling. This one was the easiest to do, the little Tin Man. Just working with a few shades of gray and then going back in and adding some depth with some black was really, really fun. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my little share. I know it's something different than what I usually share, but I really think that this coloring challenge it's really good for the soul. It's good for the practice. I hear people all the time saying, you know, I don't know how to make cards, or I don't understand. And I think starting with a good image, just a focal image, and just building around that makes cards way easier. And practice with your coloring, and you know, it just gets better and better with time. So it's a good reason to do it and to share, and you can share your progress. And I hope you all think about joining the next time she hosts one, or even for the rest of this month. It's still going on through the end of July. All right, well, thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed my little images, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.